Was the man she loved, the man whose ring glittered on her finger, a phantom? Ilara's world tilted when she found the faded newspaper clipping, not in her fiancé Liam's meticulously organized office, but tucked inside a loose floorboard in their attic, a place he'd sworn they'd never needed to explore. The headline screamed of a diamond heist, the grainy photo of the suspect bearing an uncanny, sickening resemblance to Liam. Panic warred with disbelief. She started small, checking bank statements, cross-referencing dates, his travel history. Each discovery was a nail in the coffin of their perfect romance. The lavish gifts, the seamless stories of his childhood in Canada, all began to unravel, revealing carefully constructed lies. He was too smooth, too perfect, a masterpiece of deception crafted over years. The engagement party approached, a cruel countdown to a public mockery of her love. Ilara felt a cold resolve solidify. She couldn't expose him yet. She needed irrefutable proof, and more importantly, a plan to escape the wreckage with her dignity and perhaps, a shred of justice. Her research led her down a rabbit hole of international crime syndicates, and a name that repeatedly surfaced, the Chameleon. She started planting seeds of doubt, subtle questions about his past, watching his eyes for the flicker of evasion. He was a master, parrying every query with charm and feigned amusement. But Ilara saw the micro-expressions, the fleeting tension in his jaw. The man she loved was a highly trained operative, not a gentle architect, and the realization chilled her to the bone. Ilara's revenge began with a simple act, gathering intel. She learned to pick locks, bypass digital security, and track encrypted messages. Her apartment became a war room, illuminated by screens displaying his true network, his aliases, his targets. The diamond heist was just one chapter in a much darker, blood-stained novel. He wasn't just a thief, he was a phantom. The wedding invitations were sent. Ilara moved with calculated precision, feeding anonymous tips to an elite international task force she'd meticulously researched. She leaked fragments of his current plan, a major art forgery, using untraceable methods. She was baiting a trap, hoping the authorities would connect the dots before her I do became a permanent brand of humiliation. On the eve of their wedding, Liam grew restless. He sensed something was off, a subtle shift in Ilara's demeanor. He searched their apartment, finding nothing. His paranoia mounted. He suspected a rival, a double cross, never for a second imagining the woman sleeping beside him was orchestrating his downfall. The stage was set, the final act about to unfold. The wedding ceremony. As Ilara walked down the aisle, Liam's gaze met hers, a confident, loving smile on his face. Her heart ached, a sharp pang for the love she thought was real. But then, the church doors burst open, not with joyous guests, but with armed agents. Liam's smile vanished, replaced by a mask of pure, unadulterated shock and fury. Chaos erupted. Liam, the chameleon, moved with terrifying speed, a blur of practiced evasion. He saw Ilara, her face devoid of emotion, and a horrifying realization dawned. It wasn't a rival. It was her. The betrayal in his eyes was a mirror of her own pain, amplified by the searing rage of a cornered predator. He tried to escape, but the net was too tight. Years later, Ilara visited him in a high-security prison. He was a shadow of his former self, his charm replaced by bitterness. "Why?" he rasped. Ilara looked at him, her heart no longer aching, but hardened. "You didn't just lie, Liam. You stole my future, my trust, my identity. You built a life on a graveyard of lies. This," she stated, "is the quiet price of your deception."